Hi there.
Did that dog just say hi there?
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Take 3. We've got a fun panel today. Kevin's here. Kevin, how's it going?
I'm doing quite well. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time actually doing this, so I'm super pumped. And can we talk about the latest movie news, especially without mentioning it, a certain type of trailer.
I mean, I think people know by the fact that what the topic is anyway, so you can say it. But Jake is also here. Jake, how's it going?
It's going good. Rest in peace, Ed Asner. Some unfortunate news from today, but I'm here to have some fun and talk some Spider-Man and other nerd things.
And last but not least, we've got Manning. Manning, how's it going?
Appreciate me being last but not least. That was a really good, I don't know if that was intentional, but putting Ed Asner in there or just having an intro, I'm assuming it was. But that was a really nice touch. And RIP to an absolute legend of an actor that passed. Did you all see that? Like, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter, like a few days ago, did a piece with him, and then he just passes away 4 days later. It's crazy.
I did not notice that.
I know.
And also here, coming in fashionably on time, we've got Madi. Madi, how's it going?
I am right on time. I am perfectly on time.
He's early, actually.
I'm technically early, which is I'm gonna come back in like 5 minutes. That way I can keep going. But no, I'm good. How you guys doing? Manning, wonderful to see you. Jake,
good to see you as always.
No see. Kevin, always a pleasure. Malcolm, you moved over a little bit. I prefer you when you have the bunny rabbit ears behind you, but I'll deal with it.
But with that being said, I literally did download that opening clip 5 minutes ago because I was trying to find something of Edison to do. But with that being said, that's why I'm going to start off. Then no point going straight into happy stuff, but then sad stuff, because this is something that actually happened just today. Unfortunately, Edison did pass away recently. I think it was announced today, but I don't know if it happened today. But Kevin, what are your thoughts about Ed Asner's passing?
This one actually came off guard. I was like, I was a bit tired, from today. So like the one I heard from the kids, my phone about twice. I was like literally shocked, and also I got teary up because Ed Asner did provide so many voices. But I mostly attached him as Officer Mike Cosgrove from Freakazoid, and I'm heartbroken, but he lived a life. He died by 91, and he lived the ripe old age. He has a long lasting legacy, and he will be missed.
But yeah, Jake, what are your thoughts about Ed Asner's passing?
I concur, of course. Most recently, I got to see him in Cobra Kai. I'm sure we all have. It's a delightful program. If you're not watching it, do so. But he was great in it. And then, of course, J.J. Jameson and on topic for today's program. And crap. What's the other character? I'm blanking on the character's name. The other animated comic book character that he played.
He was in the Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
It was like a couple of. It wasn't like a huge thing.
He's like a cop guy. I'm blanking on the name. Sorry, but yeah, he will certainly be missed. Recipes.
Manning, what are your thoughts about Ed Asner's passing?
Ed Asner was always someone who was one of those actors that came across as like, oh yeah, that guy. Whenever you saw him in movies or you heard his voice, because he had a very distinctive voice, and I think for a generation, some people will know him as, I believe, the show Lou Grant when he's on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and he had his own show there. For me, it's always going to be Carl Fredricksen. That's when I first heard. I mean, I heard him like in the Spider-Man, but I never like put two and two together or Spider-Man the Animated Series, excuse me. But I never put two and two together until I saw him as Carl Fredricksen in Up. And just to be able to hear his voice and associate him with that character, not only does it kind of look like Ed Asner, it basically is the embodiment of what I'd picture Ed Asner to be for some reason in real life, which I don't think is whatsoever, but he seems like he seems like a genuine nice soul to be around. Someone who is kind of, he may be like a little cranky sometimes, but he seemed like a genuine nice guy. And again, did you say 91 was when he passed away? That is a great long life, and I will be just as blessed and lucky to be able to reach the age of 91. So props, Ed Asner. You had a great life with all the numerous accolades and this praise you've gotten, but you also touched our hearts. Thank you, sir.
Madi, what are your thoughts about Ed Asner's passing?
I mean, I heard about it like 10 minutes ago, so I'm still kind of like just kind of hitting it.
Wow.
I've stayed off the internet today. Well, mostly, but it's crazy to think about. I mean, the dude's been, in my eyes, like very old for some time. Like he was one of those guys like, oh, he's just gonna be around. Like he's one of those guys that just for some reason after he hit like 60 just didn't age for the next 31 years apparently. I think what was the first? It would either have been the Batman animated series where he played like I think it was like Daggett or someone like on the animated series, or it would be like the Gargoyles animated show where he was Hudson. That would have been like my first experience with him. And then obviously most people would know him from Up, as you guys have said, but like, man, 91 is a hell of a age to go at. I have bets on me making it to 30 and then seeing where I go from there. So, I mean, 91, I mean, rest in peace, prayers and thoughts out to his family and loved ones. But yeah, what a life, man.
Yeah, I mean, when I woke up this morning, the first thing I saw was when I saw Facebook, it was this piece of Ed Asner. I quickly went to double check this through various other sources because I did not believe it at first, but like it is official. And for me, the first thing that I actually saw him in and is Captain Planet and the Planeteers. He was Hoggish Greedley.
Oh, right.
Deep holes, man.
This guy's in everything. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, he was also Granny Goodness in the Superman
Yes.
TV series.
That was a good pull.
Oh, yeah. All right.
But yeah, I mean, he's been one of those ones that have been all over the place. I have not seen him in a lot. Like movies wise, I've probably not seen him in like I've seen Up, I've seen Elf, I haven't seen JFK yet, but it's on my list to watch. But it's just one of those ones like he's definitely been around, and it's one of those ones that it's going to be hard, like because he hasn't really been in. He's one of those ones that he never really had a major franchise, but he's always just popped up in random TV appearances, and yeah, but yeah, rest in peace, Ed Asner, and yeah, it's always sad when an actor passes. Like I know a lot of people goes like, oh, they're only an actors. Like you didn't know them in person. You're not going to miss them. But, well, it's one of those ones like when an actor dies, it's like you always feel like you've known them because you've been watching them all your life. So it's just one of those ones. But anyway, moving on from that, going to go into the box office for this weekend. And so the box office for this weekend got Candyman at number 1 on 22.4 million. Free Guy is still up there on 13.6. Paw Patrol came in at third with 6.6 million. Jungle Cruise is still hanging in there with 5 million. And then Don't Breathe 2 got $2.8 million. But Jake, what are your thoughts on the box office for the past weekend?
Seems all right. Honestly, yeah, I don't have much of anything. That sounds correct. Lots of people seem to be digging Candyman. I'm not much of a horror guy, and it's also been I haven't been back to the theater since 2019, Rise of Skywalker. I will be going to Shang-Chi, so hopefully look forward to that, which I'm sure will destroy at the box office. I hope. But yeah, those all seem like decent, fun movies. I definitely am looking forward to catching Free Guy at some point. Not much of a horror cat, so Don't Breathe and Candyman are not really on my radar. And hey, Paw Patrol's a movie.
That's a good definition of it.
I mean, apparently it's good because I have not heard a lot of bad reviews from it. Manning, what are your thoughts on the box office?
I mean, we were literally just talking about that on Gone with the Wind, but how is... I didn't know there was a Paw Patrol movie out. Like, I didn't understand that was the case, and now it's here is in the top 3.
You want to hear something worse? One of the main actresses is one of the Kardashians. I couldn't tell you the difference between the however many of them are.
She's one of the Kardashians, or is it one of the Jenners? Kim
thing?
Kardashian?
Oh, the big one. Okay.
The one who's like Kim K. She's the Kim K.
The Kim Kardashian clan, or the KKK as I like to call them, are not really anything that I care about. Oh, right. Sorry. Children watching. Whatever. But no, like, who cares?
Do not Google that. That's a different thing, kids.
Well, you could.
You can Google it, but
education. Hey, give it a Goog.
But like, I don't really think the box office at this point is still something I'm going to consider. Like, because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for us up north, we're starting to look like we're going to lock down again for like what seems like the 5th or 6th time at this point. I can't keep track. But I mean, Malcolm, I know you guys just had like a fairly recent lockdown. I don't know if you guys are still in it.
But we're still in it.
Yeah, and then for you guys who are in America, I don't even know if you guys believe in COVID anymore. But
you should ask geographically who we talking about.
Oh, right, like north, south, yeah, whatever. But I don't know, like box office for me, like I've wanted to see these, like a bunch of these movies. There's specific ones that I don't care about, but I don't know. For me, it's just like, all right, well, I guess I'm waiting until it comes on like DVD, and I feel like I'm not the only one who feels that way, which is probably why I don't think anything's going to be hitting like the 100 million point. Like Candyman, I thought looked really good, and I was really intrigued by the whole idea behind it, and I've heard it's really good. But I'm not risking for Candyman, honestly. Like, I'm sorry.
What I find interesting... Oh, go ahead, Malcolm.
No, you continue for.
I interrupted Manning, so I apologize.
Well,
go ahead.
No, it's fine. We got to. I was going to go off of that actually. The box office, like I know, like people were bemoaning Suicide Squad's poor box office when it came a while ago, and I was just kind of wanting people to know, like, well, 2 things. 1, it's also streaming for free if you have HBO Max, and then 2, that was when the Delta variant really started to kick off, and Candyman doing as much as it did, which I think it did better than did it do better than Suicide Squad when it originally came out?
Yeah.
Well, which I think that's the Suicide Squad, excuse me.
Big dead.
Which, yeah, so we'll go over 100. Oh my! Oof, no.
All those kids are going to end up getting COVID.
I'm about to say they
shit spreads.
Let's not do that, kids. Let's not do that. But no, I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? I think we're still in that section at the moment in life where COVID is still having its mark, and even the numbers are impressive regardless still for something like Candyman. Like, I think anyone would be great for 20 million, but those bigger box office draws are going to still have an uphill battle to climb. So I don't put too much stock into box office just yet, but hey, Candyman, good for Candyman. That's still solid numbers.
Yeah, and Kevin, what are your thoughts on the box office? Kevin?
Repeat that? Oh, sorry.
What are you?
JT.
It's all good. What are your thoughts on the box office? Did you actually hear what the box office?
I'm happy with. Oh yeah, I was able to hear that before my internet decided.
Good.
Yeah, but I okay. Before Free Guy and Candyman, Candyman, like I'm really excited for horror movies in general, and especially a long-awaited sequel to Candyman, which is great. Free Guy, I love that it's dropping a little bit more lower than expected, because like Free Guy is so good, so good. Paw Patrol, I'm kind of still not surprised. Then again, it's also on Paramount Plus. I mean, some kids would rather want to go see it in theater, surprisingly.
Can you imagine being like, oh no, Paw Patrol is one that we gotta go to theaters for? Like, there's like the big blockbuster movies. Like, yeah, I definitely want to see Dune in theaters. So stay inside, everybody.
I'm sure there's a child who's like, yes,
child,
Paw
like,
Patrol.
I need this in the purest form, just like
Christopher Nolan intended.
Christopher Nolan told me that I need to watch this on the big screen, and meanwhile, Christopher Nolan is going, I didn't mean this damn movie, but
He's like, you're 3 years old. How are you talking like that?
Also, there's a Paramount Plus too. Jeez.
Yeah, it's just been released in Australia, but not here. But anyway, like for me, like it doesn't surprise me. Like Candyman's probably the biggest one. I don't know if that's on a streaming service as well. I know Free Guy definitely isn't. And that's been doing pretty good for something that's not also streaming, and it's a pretty good movie in general. Paw Patrol, I mean, I haven't seen any of the other ones because one, I'm not paying $40 to get Jungle Cruise on Disney Plus. I'll wait till that's free. And Paw Patrol is due to come out this week, but I can't see it. But that being said, it's going to be interesting to see how Shang-Chi does this weekend, because it's the next big release that's coming out, so that's going to be interesting. But they're going to move on to the trailers. This is a bunch of trailers. Some of these trailers were released a few weeks ago, but we haven't had a late night since then, so we're going to talk about them now. I will leave the Spider-Man trailer until the main Spider-Man discussion, because it's the discussion point that I thought we'll leave to then, because why not?
What's a Spider-Man? I've never heard of this. I don't know what a Spider-Man.
Malcolm, why is he on? He doesn't know what he doesn't know what Spider-Man is.
It's like Ant-Man, but he wasn't bitten by it was bitten by a radioactive spider.
Oh, thank you. Not a radioactive ant.
They just switched it. Yeah.
But anyway, the trailers that I do have is we've got a trailer for the Star Wars Visions anime TV series that's coming. Eternals got a new trailer. We've got a trailer for the Kingsman, The Power of the Dog. I forgot the other two trailers we talked about on Gone with the Spencer came out. And the Hand of God also came out. But Jake, did you watch any of these trailers, and any thoughts on these ones?
I did. Visions looks fantastic. Jeff's kiss. Yeah, I can't say much more than that. Eternals looks awesome. Selma Hayek said Thanos. That was awesome. And other such occurrences. And then what was that third one?
There was Spencer.
Hand of God, Power of the Dog.
The Kingsman.
The Kingsman. There we go. Kingsman looked really good. I enjoy that franchise thus far. Those two movies. They're not without flaw, of course, but they're fun to watch. So I will be looking forward to that one. And the Spencer and Hand of Dog I did not hear about.
Manning, I know we'll hear your thoughts about few of these trailers later in the week, but any thoughts on any of these other ones?
Yes, you will hear about me gush at the Spencer trailer / poster, because wow. Let me be the indie. I'll take the role tonight. I'll play the role of the indie art house film guy over here. Thank you. But yeah, The Power of the Dog, great. Everyone go check that out. Really good trailer. Hand of God, great. But you'll hear me talk about those in Gone with the Wind. So plug, go listen to that when it comes out later this week. I'm trying to remember. I didn't know there was a Kingsman trailer that came out. Or the Kingsman, excuse me. It's like the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad. You make sure you got to enunciate a particular verbiage in there. I'm trying to think of because we had the Eternals. What was there was one more at the very beginning.
That was Visions.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That was the one. There's one big one that. I think that might be the highlight. That got me excited for Star Wars. Well, since it kind of dropped off for a little bit for various reasons. But that got me excited because that felt fresh and exciting. And it's something that I feel like we desperately needed when it comes to the Star Wars lore. Something that feels, that just feels different. It doesn't feel like it's in the same world, but it's a different fable, a different tale. Something to excite our imaginations, but live in this almost ethereal world that doesn't really, it feels Star Wars, but also feels distinct at the same time. So I'm super excited about that. The rest of the trailers, Eternals, really good. That's awesome. I think this trailer actually got me excited. The last one really didn't do much for me. This one, though, I'm just really into how different this feels and how kind of almost isolated this is. How this ties in, I'm really curious, but color me excited.
Madi, what are your thoughts on any of these trailers?
All right, we're gonna have to go down the list. The Spencer trailer, I'm intrigued. I do want to hear more of Kristen Stewart's voice because the one line that we got was good, but because she's going to be most likely the forefront of the movie, so I do want to hear more of what she sounds like before I, go into it because, I'm intrigued, but I'm still a little bit worried because I don't want it to be kind of weird. Hand of God, I thought was an Amazon show with Ron Perlman, so I don't know if I have the right.
It is, but it's another one. It's a Netflix movie. Yes.
Okay. Oh shit. I remember I was like, Hand of God, didn't that come out 6 years ago? I remember watching a couple episodes and going, all right. What was the other ones? I'm gonna leave the bigger ones for later, but there was other small ones. There was the
Power of the Dog.
Oh, the Benedict Cumberbatch one. I love Westerns, so I'm intrigued by that one as well. I do wanna I'm gonna check that one out when it comes out. And I will actually check it out, not just I'll add it to my list and then 6 years down the line, oh yeah, that was a thing. So that's definitely one I'm intrigued by. Eternals, I really enjoyed the Superman aspect of the Eternals. I get that there's not really a whole lot of ways you can show laser eyes coming out of someone's eyes. That's a sentence that works. But also Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie in the same movie. I was in the theater before any of you guys could get there. What was the other? Kingsman, I thought this was the best trailer of the ones that they've put out. I really enjoyed the villain Rasputin, and it's Rhys Ifans. Is that his name? I can't remember how you.
Rhys Ifans.
Ifans, yeah. He's always been that kind of that. Oh yeah, that guy in a bunch of things. And this one, I didn't even recognize him until his name came up, and I was like, oh shit, all right. But this one really got into some of the violence and stuff that we're going to be seeing. So I am intrigued. And Ray Fiennes, I always enjoy watching. What was the other ones that I'm supposed to talk about?
Star Wars Visions is the only other one that you haven't talked about.
I have been watching a lot more anime recently, mainly because my girlfriend loves anime, and she's not watched Star Wars, and then because of me, she watched Star Wars. So we've kind of been colliding our interests, and then this was just the collaboration of both of them. So I showed her this trailer, and she immediately was like, we're watching this in Japanese. And I was like, okay, that's fair. I'll watch it in English without you. That's all right. But I do want to point out both the English and the Japanese versions have voice actors talent that is legendary in each world. In the English side, we have obviously Tamora Morrison coming back as I'm assuming Boba Fett. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Neil Patrick. There's a bunch of A-list actors who are in this cast that they announced. And then if you go to the Japanese side, it's everyone from the voice of Goku to voices in a bunch of other animes like Full Metal Alchemist, and I think there's one from Seven Deadly Sins. There's legendary talent on both sides of this. which makes me doubly excited. And also, the animation looks absolutely beautiful. So, really excited for that. I'll be watching that day one. Hopefully, it's all at once, so I don't have to wait week to week because I hate that. But that's I could take it right now in my veins, and I'd be perfectly happy.
I forgot if they announced that.
I don't think they have, but
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be week to week.
God damn it.
I mean, it's either going to be that or it's going to be all at once. Because from what I've heard, is they're not going to be long. They're not going to be long stories as well. I don't think they're going to be like 30 minutes. I think they're like shorts essentially.
I think,
But-
yeah, they're like 20 minutes or so, and then
Ah,
because it's on Disney Plus, it'll be like 35 minutes because of all the credits that they do afterwards.
Yeah,
but-
All 9 episodes, September 22nd.
All 9? Fucking
Ah,
perfect.
right.
That's exactly what I needed. And I like that it's all different animation styles per episode too, and each their own self-contained story. Because I mean, I feel like I'm not the only one who said this about Star Wars, but we've kind of focused on the Skywalker line and just that period of like, let's say 100 some years, when there's a whole vast galaxy that we still haven't really seen yet. I mean, yeah, the animated shows like Rebels and Clone Wars kind of go into other stuff, but there's never been something outside of some of the books that really go like out into the universe and like explore what it is in that we're looking at.
yeah, and it is.
Keanu Reeves as Revan.
Yeah, it is. It is. Garth said like it's canon. They actually can do whatever they want.
It's not canon?
Yeah, it's not.
Ah.
Apparently, it's not canon, so they can do whatever they want.
See, all right, that's a little bit disappointing to me, but
I mean, I
because
think it's
would
one of the-
love to
yeah.
have these characters like in the whole thing, but it's whatever.
I mean, I think there's a chance they could bring some of those characters back if they get well received. I mean, it's hard to know, but anyway, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the bunch of trailers that I talked about?
The one they can't talk about is the Benedict Cumberbatch one and The Hand of God. I've not seen those 2 trailers, but I've seen Spencer. Spencer looks really good. I want to know more about this to get really excited for it. But so far, it looks really good, and it's going to be the type of movie that my brother and I are going to go see for the upcoming Oscar theaters. The Kingsman. I'm excited. I'm a bit worried though because it's an action movie and coming on Christmas, and that sometimes spells doom for me because I got bitten by 47 Ronin before, and I'm like, I do not want to get scarred again. But it looks good. I'm excited. I love the first Kingsman. Second Kingsman, I didn't hate. There were some mistakes, but I still like enjoyed it. Eternals. Really, I love what I'm seeing. Super hyped about it. I can't wait to see what Kumail Nanjiani does, and I love seeing Salma Hayek in movies. Star Wars Visions. I love this. I'm still getting a hand of anime, so I'm still getting into it. But I love what they're doing, and I'm hoping one small bit is Jedi Wookiees. I want to see that with my eyes. I get it in the books, but I want to see with my own 2 eyes a Wookiee with a lightsaber.
How do you say "May the Force be with you" in Wookiee? Does anyone have a translator?
I do not.
I'm not even going to attempt that.
Damn it! Come on. There you go.
I'm going to offend some Wookiee somewhere.
Hashtag Rookies Live Matters. But anyway, once again, Power of the Dog, Hand of God. Spencer, you can hear my thoughts on those trailers when Gone with the Wind drops. But Star Wars Vision, I'm not a big anime person. I thought this looked dope. I'm going to watch it. Like Eternals, I'm liking what I'm seeing with Eternals. Like the first trailer, I was kind of iffy about, but with this one, it kind of reveals we're going to find out sort of why they didn't intervene when Thanos was cutting the Earth in half, essentially, and it's because like with this new trailer, they explain that they are going to get into this, and we're going to find out why they didn't intervene. Which personally, I don't know if we need to know why, but it's going to happen, so I'm not too worried about it. I like the Kingsman trailer was a lot of fun, and yeah, and I'm going to watch it and enjoy it because I like the first two movies. But once again, just like with the trailers, I've got a bunch of old news here as well that I left it in just because I thought it was still relevant-ish. But you don't have to talk about all these news. You can just put what you want. But I will list off the news that we have. So we've got Catherine Zeta-Jones cast as Morticia in the Netflix Wednesday series. Warner Brothers is going to 45-day theatrical window next year, and it's not doing the day and date release. Clancy Brown has joined John Wick 4. She'll get rid of this one because it's not really relevant-ish. Idris Elba is playing Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Yeah.
Chloe Bennett has left the Powerpuff Girls TV show that they're doing. Margot Robbie, ScarJo, and Tom Hanks are all joined the cast of Wes Anderson's new movie. There's a Field of Dreams TV series in the works at Peacock, apparently. Pet Sematary prequel adds Henry Thomas and Samantha Mathis. Apparently, we are going to see Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, in Black Panther 2. Black Canary is getting her own film with Journey Smollett reprising her role. Kevin Feige confirms that What If Season 2 is going to incorporate Phase 4 movies. The fourth Matrix movie is called The Matrix Resurrections. Brandon Ralph is going to be starring in Magic the Gathering TV series.
All right.
I did not hear that one.
Good for him.
Bull Pullman's son, Lewis Pullman, is going to be playing Ben Mears in the Salem's Lot adaptation. And apparently there's going to be an MCU Halloween special in the works, speculated to be based on the Werewolf by Night comic run.
Oh, yeah. Werewolf. Yes.
What is that comic run? I'm not aware of it.
I'm not too sure about what that is myself,
right.
But Jake, any of these news you want to comment on?
I did write that down. I had not heard about Brandon Routh. Magic is my jam. I was like, for the past few hours, just before now, I've been jamming Magic and watching Friday nights Magic YouTube series. So that's awesome. Brandon Routh seems like a cool cat. Maybe not the greatest of supermen, but so good for him. That seems cool. And then Idris Elba as Knuckles, dude. That is so awesome. This big, huge shout out. That guy's awesome. He can do anything. He can be a cat. He can be a tiger, panther. He can be a,
Can he
an
be
echidna. That's what I got.
Manning, any of these news you want to talk about?
The first one I want to talk about is Journey Smollett coming back coming back into the role of Black Canary, because I absolutely adore Birds of Prey. I adored Birds of Prey when that movie came out. I think it's a criminally underrated movie because it came around the time when stuff started to kind of just go downhill. And I just don't think it was marketed also the best, but that's a whole nother topic. I'm super excited, not only because Journey Smollett, I think, gave an amazing performance as Black Canary, but she's teaming up with Misha Green from Lovecraft Country. which while an imperfect series, has a great visual style, and Misha Green does a great job of being able to, if that is any indication, weave a lot of different storylines together. So I'm curious, especially when two collaborators are coming back together, it means that they liked working with each other enough to come back and do this again. So I'm excited with that combination, and that's probably, out of everything that I heard, that's the one that I'm like completely jazzed about.
Madi, any of these news you want to talk about?
Well, these guys took the ones I was really excited about. But the Werewolf by Night thing is intriguing. I don't know the comic very well. I think Grant just put a comment up. I can't remember if it was Grant or not.
Garth.
Oh, Garth did. Never mind. Thanks, Garth. I haven't read the comic myself. I don't know if it's like just the Marvel Zombies thing where everyone is all of a sudden a zombie, or if it's going to be separate from that. I'm hoping it's its own storyline with new characters. But I'm sure I'll find out eventually. There was a lot of news stories. I'm kind of like losing track of all of them. But
welcome to the show.
Yeah, right? Shit. I wish I had been taking notes. The Wes Anderson thing, we still haven't seen the newest one that's supposed to come out yet. So
The French Dispatch, yeah.
Yeah. Matrix being called Matrix Resurrections. Sure. That makes sense because I'm pretty sure Neo died in the last one. So, yeah, he's resurrected, I guess, somehow. I can't remember the other ones. Those are the ones that I remember.
No, it's all good. Kevin, any thoughts on any of these news stories?
The Matrix Resurrection, I'm glad I finally have the title now. I'm still want to know what's the movie's good about, and apparently if it's still coming out this year, because I'm like, you haven't really showed off a trailer yet. So I'm like thinking, is it going to be delayed? Should we be worried again with another Matrix movie? What's interesting casting? I'm excited. I love his films. My first Criterion movie is of it's the hotel one. It's the
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie. The first Criterion movie I ever bought. The one I'm really most excited about is Idris Elba as Knuckles. He is really a talented actor, and especially a voice actor. If you watch him in Finding Dory and in the Jungle Book, how he could play two different types of role, from scary to hilarious. I'm really down excited. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with him as Knuckles.
But yeah, I mean, for me, I do think we are bound to get a trailer soon for Matrix Resurrections, because someone will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the people who were at CinemaCon the past week, I think they actually got to see a footage or a trailer for this, so it must be going to be released to the public soon-ish. I don't know what the time period is for how long it takes for some trailers that debuted at CinemaCon to sort of come out into public, but Matrix Resurrections makes sense, just because Neo did die. It's exciting to me that we're going to see Ironheart and Black Panther 2, and that's actually going to be the first time we're going to see her. That's going to be the first time we see her, and because her series is due to come out later after that. So I actually found that really interesting. And I mean, what if season 2 incorporating Phase 4 movies? I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. And that's kind of a good time period to start incorporating them into there too. And I did look up Werewolf by Night, and it's nothing like Marvel Zombies, because it's a character. The character is called Werewolf by Night. It applies to 2 different characters. One of them is called Jack Russell, and the other one is called Jake Gomez. And I think, from what I read in the article, I think that it's potentially going to be the Jake Gomez one they're going to focus on, because they did say it's going to have a Latino lead. So Jake Gomez kind of makes sense as the one they're going to look at.
Does it say it's animated or live action?
I'm not too sure on. I didn't really read if it's going to be live action on that. But yeah, and apparently, Drew Marini has seen Matrix 4 already and has given some opinions without spoilers, and he compared it to Cloud Atlas.
All right.
So,
There's a Godfather.
Which means
dear.
I should be excited because I love Cloud Atlas.
Oh, sorry.
But that being said, and I mean, like the last thing I'll talk about is Margot Robbie, ScarJo, and Tom Hanks being in a movie together with Wes Anderson. Sounds like an amazing combination. It's definitely going to be interesting. And this Power Cut Puff Girls TV series kind of sounds like it's not going to happen in the end.
Burn it.
Yeah,
Just burn it.
Chloe Bennett was the only reason I was like, "Oh, this is going to happen." And now that she's gone, I'm just like, I don't think so.
Well, the other thing is they had already filmed the pilot, but then they had to scrap everything and rewrite it.
That's
so
a great
bad?
sign. That's a really great sign.
yeah, so who knows if this is ever going to happen? All I know is it's a CW show, so if
it does happen, it's going to have 13 seasons.
Yep.
Great.
maybe not. I mean, like Arrow only had 8, so
Yeah,
You're right.
It was a limited series at 8 for the CW.
But with that being said, you're going to move on because I think most of the news was casting anyway, and small things.
Obviously, you could have read to the rumor of an X-Men, someone from X-Men will be fighting with Wanda in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness.
Wait, who from X-Men?
No, that's the part. It's apparently it's someone from
Yeah,
from the X-Men universe.
It said the Foxverse. I remember them.
Foxverse,
So
yeah.
what does that? Does that mean?
Is it going to be Ralph
Fantastic
Boner again?
Four?
Like, because I'm not going to deal with Evan Peters showing up like, "Oh, I'm in witness protection."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I generally don't pay any stock to rumors, unless Deadline or Variety was one of the high up news sources are reporting it. That's kind of where I look at for the news.
Okay.
That comicbook.com, so we got it covered. Don't really have it covered all the time.
yeah. I'm like thinking, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I just can't. I'm like thinking it's another Mephisto situation. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall for it.
You know what?
But
I'm still going to say that little rabbit at the end of WandaVision was Mephisto. I'm still sticking on that train.
Oh,
until
wow!
someone
You're on
proves
that
me
train.
otherwise. Until
Then
someone
you're
proves that
scratchy.
it's just a rabbit, it's Mephisto.
Well, apparently, though, we were going to film a scene in which the rabbit turned into a demon thing, which wasn't going to be Mephisto, but
Wait, what?
apparently it was going to be a scene they were going to film, but because of COVID, they chose not to. They couldn't do it safely.
Wow.
I'm going to take that as me being right, and I'll end with that.
But with that being said, while we've got back into the MCU, we're going to talk about Spider-Man. And we're going to talk about the No Way Home trailer first. Jake, what are your thoughts on the No Way Home trailer?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just give me all the Spider-Man. Give me all the villains. Give me everything. I'm easy. Maybe don't give me all the villains. I could probably do without Dane DeHaan in this situation. But hello, Peter. Yes, give me the Alfred Molina. It was awesome. I loved it.
I mean, for all we know, the movie will literally have all the villains. But Manning, what are your thoughts on the No Way Home trailer?
Oh, that was an absolute blast to witness. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is, I think for a lot of people, he might be one of their favorite heroes. For a majority of people, for like a various amount of reasons. I will say, I do miss the Spider-Man, like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and this one is definitely not a neighborhood. This is an
Yeah, he's been
interdimensional. He is, yes. I think there was the line from Infinity War where it's like you can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man without a neighborhood or something like that. And it's like, well, okay, that's true, but I do want you to go do the small things. The scope is very big, and it's really interesting to see how they managed to intertwine Peter Parker with a lot of different people from the MCU. In this case, Doctor Strange, prior one. He was Nick Fury. The one prior to that, it was Iron Man. This one, he's pairing with Doctor Strange. So it's like a Marvel team up. Every Spider-Man has been to a degree so far. And in this one, I'm curious to see what Doctor Strange is going to do and how all these different Spider-Men are going to interact, or if they're going to even be in there. Still don't know. We don't have that confirmed. It's hearsay at this moment. But we do know for a fact. Well, we know one fact, and then we know half a fact. A full fact is we know Doc Ock is going to be there. Alfred Molina, who looks slightly off. It's the de-aging probably. I saw that and I'm like, what is that? But oh, can I just tell you how excited I was just to hear him say hello, Peter? I'm like, Alfred Molina, sir, we've missed you. And then of course the other half is that was definitely the pumpkin. That was definitely one of his pumpkin bombs from the Green Goblin. So we're going to be getting that, and that cackle had to have been William Dafoe. It almost had to be, unless they're pulling a 180 and these people are in like one scene when there's a rip in space and they are thrusted back in, which would kind of be of a cop out because we don't really know what the story truly is. We don't know who the big bad is. We don't know what the objective is other than to keep everything back in. This is a taste. This is a tease, a long teaser, but kind of a teaser nonetheless, because we don't really know what the story is about. So I'm down for that. I'm curious to see what transpires. I have a lot of questions. We're getting close to December, so I'm excited. I think it was a good trailer. Do I miss Neighborhood Spider-Man? Yes, but I am excited to see what comes about with this version.
But Madi, what are your thoughts on the No Way Home trailer?
I enjoyed about like 10-15 seconds of it. I thought it was okay. The Green Goblin pumpkin bomb, the maybe James Franco, maybe Willem Dafoe laugh in the background was good. Can you imagine if it was like Willem Dafoe and then as James Franco shows up, like how mad would everyone be? And he's still pretending he's Tommy Wiseau. It's like, oh, hi, Peter. But like, and then obviously Alfred Molina in the trailer. But the rest of it, I was just like, this guy's a neurosurgeon making a really bad decision, and he knows he's making a bad decision. Also, why doesn't he just tell him like stop messing around with a spell, and instead say, hey, you could just tell them again after we cast the spell, and you're good. Like, that's one solution. Also, there's still scrolls that they could have just been like, oh, yeah, here's Peter Parker, here's Spider-Man. What else do you need? Like, there's so many easier solutions than let's rip apart all dimensions in space and see how that goes.
I will say, in the defense of the trailer, that scene was probably edited to no end, so that was chopped up, so we may not know what transpired. Although, if that happens, Madi, and it's just Doctor Strange messing up, I will eat my words, and you were right.
That's the second time I've been right today, as of right now. But, I don't know, like, it felt like the whole trailer was like, oh, let's make bad decisions for 2 minutes, and then show you that there's like 5 villains, I think. Because there was Dr. Ock, there was Green Goblin. Some people say that there's the lizard in the background of one of them, but I'm not sure if I saw it.
I mean, I think someone said there's Sandman in the background somewhere as well.
The Sandman stuff I get because there's like sand coming out and then lightning hits it, and I'm not sure that that's how lightning works. So that's how Electro and Sandman kind of there. Yeah, like Jamie Foxx has said he's in it. I don't know why Jamie Foxx is in it, but because he was so good the first time around.
I mean, apparently Jamie Foxx said his Electro is going to be he's he said he's in it, but then he also said he's not going to be blue. So he's either going to be a different version of Electro. I don't know, but then his tweet
the blue wasn't the
seriously
issue
got
for me.
deleted. So
I don't know. There's a lot about this trailer that I'm hesitantly excited about. Like, I don't know. I want it to be good. Also, yeah, I agree with Manning. Alfred Molina did look a little bit off, and I'm a little upset that they're not still using practical arms. But I guess that's just how Marvel works now. Just CGI it, make it cheaper. I'm sure Alfred Molina still has those arms like in his closet though. Like he probably came to set with them. They're like, "Oh, we're CGIing it." He's like, "Never mind." And he's like,
but Kevin, what are your thoughts on the No Way Home trailer?
I'm really excited. Super excited for this one. I'm interested to see what Jamie Foxx Electric is going to look like, because when I saw the lightning of it, I'm like thinking that's yellow. I'm like thinking, so he's going to get a new design, or his powers going to be different, because I'm like, in the Spider-Man 2, it's blue. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I got excited when I saw like that's a Green Goblin bomb, and like thinking that's of course Willem Dafoe. I'm of course I did gasp at Alfred Molina's appearance as saying hello Peter, and also I was a bit surprised because here's the thing, I almost thought it was going to be Peter actually outrunning from the cops, but because I expected like that huge him being revealed will be a major difference, but I'm interested, and I wonder if will this be the last of Happy Hogan, because you can see a glimpse and a bunch of lasers pointing at him. So I'm thinking, is something bad gonna happen to Happy?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like they're always going to cut a trailer to make it look like it's the end for some people. It's one of those ones like I love this trailer. I mean, I know there's a lot of speculation online like about is that really Doctor Strange, because a lot of people are like, I can't imagine Doctor Strange messing up a spell at all, even if someone was annoying him. And I mean, there's a lot of speculation to bounce off what Medee said about Mephisto. Is like, is this really is this Mephisto? And
it is
Mephisto.
I'm leaving it at that. It was Mephisto.
Because there was a lot. Yeah, I've also seen this speculation.
Oh, come on.
Listen, I have hairy arms. I'm not Matt Murdock. Look at me, I'm Daredevil.
We don't know.
Medee
could be. Medee could be Matt Murdock. We don't know.
I'm Matt Murdock before he went blind and before he became a ninja.
But yeah, I mean, it's...
I'm also not a lawyer. I should not be in charge of laws.
Yeah. It's just one of those ones like, and I mean, I love the fact they still didn't confirm that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in this, because even though it's speculated that they are they're bit film stuff, it's still not confirmed. I still think we're going to see them, but I mean, I want them to prove everyone wrong and not.
I would laugh if the twist is Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are there, but they're playing at different versions of Uncle Ben.
I thought Tobey Maguire was gonna be Uncle Ben at some point, because he's like what, 50 now. So I was like, yeah, he
geez, is he?
I think. Well, I don't know. He looked 50 in the last movie I saw him in. So I was like, all right, well, he can do it. The only thing I'm like slightly like thinking, I was like, oh, maybe they'll have like Jake Johnson come in as overweight Spider-Man who's just depressed, because then he doesn't have to work out or do anything. You just come in like, yeah, I'm Spider-Man, so what?
I mean, you could get Tobey Maguire to do the exact same thing.
Well, yeah, that too.
Sorry to interrupt, but Manning, I think, is leaving soon, so I definitely want him to get whatever thoughts he wants out.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you. What I was about to say into the idea of what you were saying, Malcolm, you had mentioned that it could be Mephisto. At this point, I'm willing to bet that literally every villain that 46 years old. There you go. I'm willing to bet that literally we're never going to get Mephisto. We will never get Mephisto at this point. He's going to be the red herring we're always going to think is going to be there, but he's not actually going to be there until we get a Ghost Rider or something, which we almost did, but then that's a whole other story. And then the second thing I was going to say is that I don't think they're going to reveal Toby or Andrew until the movie comes out. I don't think they're going to show that in a trailer. There might be some reporting, but I don't think they're going to show that in the trailer. And I don't even know if they're going to be big parts or if they're just going to be little walk-ons in the sense of, oh, this fun little activity happens here. This thing happens here. Wow, it's a fun scene. We don't know how big of a part. And I'm skeptical of how big of a part someone like Doc Ock's going to play, if he's just going to be a little bit or the full thing. So, because we got a lot of crazy visuals, but not a lot of coherency when what takes place.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Peter did have the devil horns in one of the posters behind. So Peter is Mephisto.
Or is he Daredevil?
Yeah.
Or is
Daredevil
Daredevil
and
Mephisto?
Mephisto are the same, and they're in the body of Peter. Not
This is a really
like
bad
that.
comic crossover.
Not like that.
It's not what I was okay.
One thing
that's the spin-off
but one thing I absolutely loved about this trailer, and people have made memes of it, is Wong just up and leaving.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. In Doctor Strange 1, he just spent the whole time learning magic. Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame, it was the ending of Endgame. He was using magic and using it really well. And then all of a sudden, his teacher is like, yeah, don't do this one spell. This one, don't do. And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I can do it. No big deal.
I saved the world.
Come on, dude. It didn't work the first time. Shit.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of
bargain.
I mean, I know Doctor Strange 2 is after this.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
He's like, I have a cage fight to do against some guy. I'll be right back.
Abomination called me out. I'm gonna accept that challenge and beat him up.
Abomination talking shit on Twitter.
But honestly, I really hope that one scene from the trailer is not all we see of Wong in this movie, because I like the character of Wong. I want him to have a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is another one of my favorite memes that my brother had sent me as well.
Oh my god.
Actually, I'll get rid of that banner because you can't see that bottom part of it.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I was about to say, what is the...
That's me when my brother takes my clothes and says they're hand-me-downs.
But with that, I believe Manning is going to head out. So I'll let him.
You got it right. Yes, of course. I am going to head out to get to bed so I can get up at 2:30 a.m. Hooray for work.
2:30 a.m.?
2:30 a.m. shift. Yep. So, well, not the shift. I get up then, but that's another topic. You can find me at Twitter at Cinna_man. That's CINE_MANN, as well as here on Take 3 hosting Gone with the Wind, which again should be up tomorrow. I didn't get to finish editing tonight, so it might be a little later thanks to this change in schedule, but expect it either Monday night or Tuesday morning. And with that said, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. So. Good night, gentlemen. I'm glad I could talk Spider-Man with you, even for temporary.
Manning is Mephisto.
I gotta go. They found out.
He's gonna be up all night, right? That's when the devil works.
But with that being said, I'm gonna continue on more Spider-Man talk, moving away from the trailer now. But Jake, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Into the Spider-Verse. I feel like that's the correct answer. If you want to say live action, it is probably Spider-Man 2, the Raimi. But I do enjoy Tom Holland more than say Toby or Andrew.
Midi, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
I'm probably on the same boat as Jake on this one. I really loved Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man 2 would be my number 2. I think Spider-Man 2 was other than Into the Spider-Verse was probably the last one I really loved. So it would definitely have to be Spider-Man 2. And then, I think I have the same rankings as most people, where it's like Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1 are like both near the top, and then everything else is just like there as in some variation.
Kevin, what is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a different route and say Spider-Man: Homecoming. I actually quite enjoyed Tom Holland's interpretation of an actual high school Peter, and the complication of him being Peter Parker and Spider-Man throughout this movie.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for me as well, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's one of those ones I didn't expect to be as good as what it was, but it turned out that way. But like for me, Spider-Man Homecoming is probably up there for live action. Like, I do like the Raimi ones, but those are ones that have kind of gone down a little bit for me on rewatch. Just because they've aged quite a lot. It's just one of those ones that they don't have the same enjoyment I used to have with them, but they're still good. There's not really a Spider-Man movie I really do not like. Like Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is one of those ones that it's fine. It's probably still 2.5 stars for me, but I don't
That's high
hate
praise.
it.
Yeah.
But it's also not it's never going to be out there for my favorite. My name's not Caleb Coho.
Boom roasted.
But, oh yeah, Caleb Coho really does like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But anyway,
Caleb, I'm sorry.
I didn't plan about how to break down the talk about Spider-Man, so I'm just going to move on. What are some of your favorite Spider-Man villains? I'm going to start from a D.
Do you want movie villains or like just overall?
Overall villains.
I mean, overall, Green Goblin's got to be like the top tier, right? Like, I don't know about you. The animated Spider-Man TV show was like on at my house cyclically with like the X-Men show and the Batman like animated show. So I definitely loved the Green Goblin in that show, and Hobgoblin I was terrified of because I was like, it's just like Green Goblin except with like a glider and like a creepier mask and stuff. And we never knew who he was either, so that was another one. Doc Ock has always been good, and Alfred Molina I thought was better than the animated version for me. Kingpin I never really cared about. I don't know. Like, I was glad he was in the Spider-Verse, but didn't really care. And then, who else was there? Oh, I mean, Venom and Carnage were up there too, but I think we're sort of separating them. I don't know how the universes work right now, but I don't think they're in the same universe. Maybe, almost. I don't know. They're in a universe. I just don't know if they're connected. But those would be my favorite ones. And then, I'm trying to think. Like, there's a lot of the characters in the Spider-Man universe that aren't villains that are technically bad. Like, Black Cat isn't a villain, but she's not a hero either. And I really loved her character for more than just the obvious reasons. But Spider-Man's kind of like that, like where it has a lot of characters that you're like, all right, it's kind of on both ends. So yeah, that's my list of like top tier villains that I would think of.
Kevin, what is some of your favorite Spider-Man villains?
Green Goblin, especially in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, Wonderful did an amazing job of how scary he plays Green Goblin.
Yeah.
especially during the Thanksgiving scene when he's not in the suit and he's still terrifying, and where he knows it's Peter, where especially when he notices Peter cut his arm during the Thanksgiving dinner. That Dr. Octopus, especially where in the Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4 game, you're not really caught off guard. You kind of easily tell, but you can still see the shock in Peter's eyes in that game. And I'm like, I still feel the impact of him still, even though I'm replaying the game again. Is that technically okay? And also technically, the third one is actually reptile. No, I mean not the reptile, the lizard. Sorry. I'm a terrible Spider-Man fan, but yes, the lizard.
The Mortal Kombat kind of seeps in. It's fine.
Yeah. You can see Peter actually trying to help Dr. Connors when he transformed the lizard. Yeah, you see the heartbreak where he does whatever he can to actually get him back to his normal self, and that's what I love about the lizard as a villain.
But yeah, like for me, a lot of my favorite villains is from the movies. Like I like Vulture, Doctor Ock, Kingpin. And I actually didn't hate Jake Gyllenhaal's Mephisto. Like he was a lot of fun.
Mephisto confirmed. Malcolm said it. He doesn't look up rumors. He said it. It's confirmed.
I meant Mysterio.
I'm taking.
But before we know Mysterio was Mephisto, they're all one and the same.
Mephisto is everywhere. We just don't know it yet. That's what Secret Invasion is about.
Mephisto is Agatha all along. But Jake, what are some of your favorite Spider-Man villains?
Yeah, I'll shout out all three Doc Ock since you bring up Agatha all along. Catherine Hahn as Dr. Olivia Octavius is pretty badass. I also wrote Doc Ock from the game, and of course Alfred Molina is awesome. But yeah, that moment still plays really well, even though you of course know that Otto Octavius is going to be a douche. But like you said, you can see it in Peter's eyes, and Yuri Lowenthal's voice acting in that is solid. Gabi, Willem Dafoe, awesome. Headed to the and then Mike Keaton's Vulture. But some characters we have yet to see: Kraven the Hunter, super badass villain. Definitely looking forward to that. And Morlun and his brood of spider vampires. Vampires that feast on Spider-Mans, apparently, is the correct nomenclature. Not Spider-Men.
It's going to be a really strict diet for them. There's only one of them in the... Well, as of right now, only one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, in those books, they are pretty terrifying sometimes. So they're in the Spider-Verse books and whatnot. So yeah, those guys are all pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those. It's definitely one of those ones that, like with Spider-Man, there's so many ways you can go with this topic, and it's just one of those ones. Like I haven't actually read. I don't think I've read a Spider-Man comic before, so I'm more into the movies when it comes to my knowledge of Spider-Man stuff. But it's just one of those ones that I always find it entertaining with what they can do in the movies. But I'm going to go, before we go into a fun game to wrap up this, I'm going to go into a bit of speculation time. Where do you think Spider-Man in the movies is going to go at post No Way Home? Is he going to stay in the MCU, or is he going to move over to Sony full time and maybe make appearances in Venom movies and stuff? I'll start with Jake on this.
Mephisto. Wait, sorry. Yeah. I certainly hope he gets to stay in the MCU. Obviously, they know what they're doing. Sony, sometimes it doesn't appear that they do. But whatever happens, I hope we see more of Tom Holland. I would like to see Tom Holland grow into college age Peter Parker. And I mean, I suppose he technically is at this point, like his actual age. But I want to see him get out of high school. I want to see him go to Empire State or New York State or where have you, or whatever college they want. And
Yeah.
I would like to see him maybe go through a breakup with MJ. And Tom Holland is super jacked and athletic, so he should have to get fat at some point. That's what I got.
But Madi, do you think Spider-Man's staying in the MCU post No Way Home?
I think so, but mainly because I don't think Tom Holland is gonna ever be able to beat Tom Hardy in a fight. Like, if you put those two in the same room, I don't care what powers they give Tom Holland, it's still Tom Hardy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they're both British Tom H's, but there's definitely one that's gonna kick the shit out of the other one. Like, I don't think it would do well for Spider-Man to go into that universe. I feel like it's more likely that those guys come more into the MCU than it is for him to leave and then go to where they are. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like, especially with the multiverse shit that they're throwing around, I feel like they're gonna have like a post-credit scene where it's like Madam Web is like, "Hey, look at what Tom Hardy is gonna be doing whenever that movie comes out." Like, it'll be some deep cut, and then people will like try and figure out who that is. If you guys don't know who Madam Web is, but I don't know. Like, there's so much confusion for me in terms of like who belongs where, because Michael Keaton was in the Morbius trailer, and that movie's never coming out, so who knows if that one is even going to count. But I don't know. There's so many, like, I don't know. I think he's going to stay in the MCU because he's too attached to it now to leave. But I think they could more likely bring others in than, kick Spider-Man out. Like, there's no way they're losing Spider-Man now at this point.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin, what are your thoughts on Spider's future in the MCU post No Way Home?
I think what probably might happen is Peter is gonna and Strange are gonna have a talk at the end, and then appears Madam Web. They both have a discussion, and she says, "You have two choices. One, you stay here, everything will stay the same. Everyone know you're Spider-Man. Or two, we go back way before you were Spider-Man. You will no longer be Spider-Man though. You will have your uncle. Everything would be all that ever was. No more Spider-Man. You will be a normal teenager." He had the talk, and he had the heart, and he agrees to become to accept that offer. And in the end,
TVA shows up.
In the end, you see him bump into a kid, or at least a teenager, bumps in, and a spider bits him, and it's revealed it's Miles Morales.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that, like, I think at this point it's semi-confirmed that Tom Holland's contract is up after No Way Home, because he was only contracted for 6 movies in the MCU. Whether or not they extend it later, and that who knows, because I know Sony and Marvel have got into a bit of disagreement, and I think that there's definitely some struggle. So I kind of think this is the last we'll see Tom Holland. I don't know if that means he's going to go. He's just going to transfer over back to Sony. I think Sony may reboot again and give another fresh face a chance to there, which could be a mistake. But it's just one of those ones that we don't know. This could be like the MCU planning an exit for Spider-Man, but we won't really know until the movie comes out and how it ends. It's all speculation at this point. But with that being said, I'm going to bring back a game which I've done a few times. I like to call it the crossover game.
Oh boy.
I'm going to bring up a reel which has a whole bunch of franchises on this, and I'm going to it includes TV franchises, video game franchises, a mix, and between all of us, we're going to come up with some kind of picture crossover kind of thing. It's just a lot of fun.
I hate that I can't see the names of them either.
We've got Despicable Me franchise.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
Versus Mamma Mia.
No.
I mean,
Can I do a respin?
I mean, it's going to get another 2 spins later anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be a hard one. But the best I can think of is that Gru's daughter, one of them's getting married, and then it turns out that her fathers want to visit her, and they start singing ABBA songs. That's the best I can
And
do.
Meryl Streep is there for some reason.
Pretty much.
That actually is the only way I could think of it. Is like one of the
All right,
kids is
give
being married,
me-
and they're like, "All right,
Yeah,
who's the
give me
real father?"
minions exploding at the sound of Meryl Streep singing at them. Is it live or is it Memorex? I'm old. But yes, I just want exploding minions.
I just want the minions also singing "Mamma Mia."
But next up, we've got the Transformers franchise crossing over with My Little Pony.
God,
That movie
Hasbro
writes
universe.
itself.
that writes itself. Yeah. I've never seen My Little Pony, but you know what? Do the same thing that Michael Bay did with Transformers 1, where the Transformers arrive from Autobot or from what the fuck is their planet called? Cybertron.
Yes.
Jesus. Land from Cybertron onto My Little Pony land, and then all of a sudden there's one pony who hasn't really fit in anywhere, happens to come across a pony version of a Camaro that talks and changes, and finds out that that pony's great-grandfather, who discovered Alaska or some shit, was actually the first human or first pony to discover Cybertron engineering, and that's where all their information has come from.
Pretty
Yep.
sure the pony version of a
Yeah.
Camaro is a Mustang.
That's, you know what? Fucking fuck it. Every Transformer is now a Mustang, except for one, which is like a Pinto.
But next up, we've got Friends crossing over with
Oh god.
Ramp.
Oh. Okay.
Hold on. Whatever I've never seen an episode of Friends, so I don't. Jennifer Aniston accidentally kidnaps Rambo's kid, and
Oh.
Rambo goes into Central Perk or whatever the place is called, and just sets a bunch of traps, and then all of a sudden fires a bow and arrow into a helicopter that crashes right through their apartment buildings.
Mine was gonna be so Joey gets gets hired to do a movie, and he wants to experience it, become an action star, so he goes to Vietnam. He gets kidnapped, and so Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer go get Rambo, and they join him on this rescue mission.
So they're
I
sitting
mean,
there
I-
having like a will they, won't they, and Rambo's going like, "Yeah!"
Yes.
stabbing
I
people
mean-
through the skull.
I mean, to be fair, both those scenarios could be the exact same movie. I mean,
It could very well be. He comes back, and it turns out that one of the other ones has done something. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely can't say anything that's going to top that.
I just want another Rambo movie. I don't care who's in it.
Adam Driver, dude.
Ice Age.
Hey, I mean, it's possible.
And Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ. Jason
Fucking
Bourne.
Jason Bourne has to help Scrat find his nuts.
Because,
Yeah,
because the nuts have the secret to who Jason Bourne was in the past.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
that sounds.
I want to think so. The agency hires a Sabretooth.
It's such a fucked up universe that I would see all of these movies.
Super Mario Brothers.
All right.
Not the movie, right? Like the game.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just the whole franchise. And Indiana Jones.
I feel that's super obvious.
Yeah, Indy's looking for an ancient mushroom and falls into a trap that is actually one of those like plumbing pipes,
Yeah.
and lands in Mario's garage where he and Luigi are playing table tennis, but like their version. So like one of the balls is on fire every time it strikes, and then they all go and find Princess Peach in Bowser's castle. And somehow Indy ends up with Princess Peach at the end of the movie. And Mario's just sitting there like, what the fuck, dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Jeez.
I'm gonna do another 2 of these. Maybe for call it a day. The Tekken franchise up
Oh,
against.
God.
There's Star Trek.
Oh shit, I haven't seen enough of either of these.
I mean, this is one of those. I mean, this is one of those ones where, I mean, I'm certainly going to say it's a like I'm going to, instead of pitching a movie for these characters, it's just going to be a video game. It's going to be basically similar to Marvel versus Capcom, DC versus Mortal Kombat. It's going to be Star Trek versus Tekken. You're going to have
Captain Kirk versus King.
Yeah.
Walks in, be like, I could have sex with you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything better to do for this.
I was gonna like a special tournament, and one of the round, Spock versus a bear.
Yeah, Spock is not like doing like the Vulcan neck pinch on a bear. Like he's just gonna walk up like, where the hell is this?
And instead of doing the naming convention of Star Trek versus Tekken, because those kind of, the game's just gonna be called Star Trekken.
Oh, Chuck it to the stars. I mean, take it to the stars.
That sounds like a #1 hit on Billboard's 100.
There is actually a song called Star Trekken.
Of course,
Power Rangers franchise. Crossing over with Kingsman.
Okay. All right. Okay. This one is easy. Pretty much the Kingsman had another secret organization of how where they recruit them to recruit teenagers, and they're special suited for this kind of material, and so they become power. They're called what would be a good word for combined Kingsman and Power Rangers universe?
King Rangers. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the naming.
Ray Fiennes is Zordon.
Yes.
Ray finds his Zordon, and then who was it? It was like Michael Caine in the first one. He's
Colin Firth. I think Colin Firth's the one you might be thinking of.
Are you talking about the main Kingsman?
Oh no, there was Colin Firth, but he was working under Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, I think was.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I've learned is apparently Kevin thinks about these random crossovers all the time. If he thinks it is easy.
Well, okay, anything worked with Power Rangers.
Yeah. Actually, Power Rangers would go good with a lot of these. Like even Despicable Me, I would be like Power Rangers versus the Minions. That would be
Yeah,
killer.
Yeah.
Freddy has no chance against the Power Rangers.
Yeah, they
But
don't
yeah,
sleep.
Nightmare on Elm Street crossing over with Doctor Who.
Oh shit. Okay, that's legit though. That's like that might actually be an episode of Doctor Who already.
Oh
There's
yeah.
50 some years of this shit. Like I can't keep up with all of it. But
But yeah, I mean
That's-
the only thing, the only thing I can sort of think of is Doctor Who travels to a dimension where everyone's all angry because they can't sleep. Is like he offers to fall asleep so he can fight Freddy, and then Freddy kills him, and that's how the Doctor Who series ends.
wow, so dour. I'm pretty sure I don't remember if this was a thing, but I'm pretty sure there was an episode like in the last like 5 or 6 years where they like found a way to beat sleep in Doctor Who, but because they didn't sleep, they ended up all like having some issue or something. I don't remember the exact details. It's been a while since I've watched the show. I haven't caught up in it in a while, but this one might actually genuinely be an actual episode, and he wouldn't die. He would regenerate because the BBC makes too much money off of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It doesn't travel through dimensions. It's just time and space. Gotta
Well, that's
correct
true.
you on that shit.
I think this will be the last one. So hopefully we get a good one to finish off on. Kung Fu Panda.
All right.
And the Hobbit.
Up against
Oh!
Give me that. Just give me the fight for
Yes.
an hour
Just
and a
the
half.
fight. Sylvester Stallone in the prime of his career. This is like right after Rocky 3. No, right before Rocky 3. And he gets mail from China saying, "We have a champion here who would like to face off against you." He's not a southpaw, but he's a good fighter. And he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll fight anybody. Mick, let's go trade." And then, because Mick's still alive before this, so, and then all of a sudden, a giant panda comes into the ring. It's like, "Mick, what is this? Is this some kind of unorthodox boxing style? I don't get it." And then instead of Eye of the Tiger, it's Eye of the Panda. And they, to be fair, Kung Fu Panda has a great training montage
Yeah.
on its own, and Rocky's obviously the greatest training montage of all time. But put those two both like having a training montage together, it's instant like erection from me, like just straight up. I'm ready for this movie.
And the moment their wrist touch,
The first touch, and it's like a huge explosion. All life ends in the galaxy, and then they have to go into the afterlife together and talk to all the other animals and people, and like somehow bring them back from the spirit world.
But yeah, that's definitely a good place to finish. But with that being said, it was had a lot of fun. But next week on Late Night, it's going to be our big celebration for 5 years. It may be a week late because our official celebration was yesterday, but so I'm going to be trying to get some special guests, maybe some videos from people. I'm going to try to do a week of organising because I forgot it was coming up. But so, with that being said, Jake, where can people find you online?
Jake Tato on, I think I'm like Jake Tato 18 or something on Twitter, but I'm not really there that often anyway. The Tato 24-hour challenge is some movie trivia delights that everyone is welcome to come play. Just 2 people, 5 people, however many people. Well, only up to 5 because hosting reasons and whatnot for the most part. But yeah, just come to me with whatever matches you want written, TV, movies, whatever. Some will be better, some will be worse, depending on how much I've seen of the thing. But yes, thank you for having me.
Madi, where can people find you online?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the various social media things at MadiR. And OnlyFans is allowing adult content again, so you can find me going up Mephisto's ass.
Nice.
Kevin, where can people find you online?
You could find on Instagram, Darkman19, Blue Lantern 18 on Twitter, Darkman119 on Twitch. I'll be continuing my further continuing adventure of Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 on Saturdays, and I'll be competing in the TMT Trivia's Geek for All. Will I win? Oh, probably not. I'm number 5. I probably wouldn't last that long. But I have some hope I will last a bit. I will last not long, but a good chunk of time though.
That's what I say to my girlfriend too.
But yeah, you can also find me in the Geek for All. I'm not going to reveal where I am placed. But I mean, most people who watch it already know anyway. But anyway, you can also find me on Take 3 Productions, right? Host rank him on Saturdays. Next week's topic is going to be top 12 Marvel villains. And you can also find me doing late night next week for our 5-year celebration. But you can and you can also find me on Full Metal hosting Classic and Random. But with that being said, this is the end. I'm just going to end the way it started because rest in peace, Edison.
Hi there. Did that dog just say hi there?